This guy, Javier Milei, down in Argentina. That's why it was such a shock when he won the other night. People thought, okay, it's not possible. Wait till you see the media reports about him. I want to contrast the before and the after. This chainsaw. He's taking a chainsaw to the budget. It's kind of like what we need to do here. He's talking about all the different jobs in government. He's going to get rid of all of them. All the different departments, he's going to get rid of all of them.
Afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad.
Al zurdo de mierda no le podés dar ni un milímetro.
Pero ¿me podés definir zurdo de mierda?
Okay, I don't know if you guys speak Spanish or not, so I won't put you through all of that, but I do think it's important. I do think it's important to notice this coverage. Okay, so I'm going to show you an article. Here we are. If you're looking at the screen, you can see this article. This is in The Guardian, overseas paper, and this is dated Wednesday, November 8th. November 8th, 2023. Okay. And basically they're writing about how he would be devastating for Argentina. Absolutely, positively devastating for Argentina. There is no way this guy should ever be elected because, wow, that would be really, really bad. Well, this is what we kept hearing, like over and over and over again. And I find it rather incredible only because we know the actual outcome and the actual truth. So they try to scare you. They say, everybody's warning, it's gonna be desastre in Argentina. If this guy wins. See, I can flip into my Spanish. One of these days I'm going to do a show in Spanish. We'll put it on a separate channel, so if you don't speak it, you don't have to listen to it. But I know I have a few of you out there, in part thanks to my Venezuela coverage, that do speak Spanish. So Millet, I know a lot about this. It was my first gig, my first real job at Goldman was trading Latin American debt, of which Argentina was one of the countries that we traded their sovereign debt. I remember really just being fascinated by the background, the history of the nation, its politics, its economy. And what's so tragic is like they just kept screwing up, right? Because they put these socialists in charge, the socialistas. Well, let me tell you, the people of Argentina, they've figured out how bad that all is. They figured out how bad it all is. And so consequently, they said, you know what? We're going to do something different. We're going to get this guy, this radical guy who's like a television economist. We're going to try something that no one thinks that we can try and see what happens. And woohoo, very next day, this is from Bloomberg, actually, another place I used to work. What do you know? And I was talking to a lot of my friends, because I still have friends that trade all this stuff. And I was asking them, this is like 23 years ago when I was on the desk there, but I was asking them, what do you think is going to happen? And they said, it's going to be, the markets are going to love it. Like Wall Street will love it, love it, love it, love it. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And I'm looking right now at Barron's. The headline is Argentine stock market up 20% after Milei election. Argentina stock market rose 20% at the open on Tuesday in its first reaction to the resounding election won by libertarian economist Javier Milei. So interesting. They're not actually, this is embarrassed. They're not referring to him as like a nut job, which is what everybody else was doing before. So you know what? As my friend said, it will be welcomed. I have liberal friends that trade this stuff. They also said to me, you know what? It will be welcomed. It will be welcomed on Wall Street because they need this kind of change. He's got his work cut out for him. He's got to basically make sure everybody else is in line, and he has the wind at his back, old Irish saying, right? And that's good because the people are with him. But now he's basically going to go in there and say, I mean business. And all the bureaucrats that were getting a deal, they're not going to be able to get that anymore. Just explain what was going on so that you understand how bureaucracy was really making its money. And this was well articulated to me by a friend who has traded this stuff for many, many, many years. Basically, if you go to the normal exchange house, you would get like 350 pesos, Argentine pesos, to $1 US. But on the black market, if you go to the street, it would be like 950 pesos or 1,000 pesos to $1 US. So what were the bureaucrats doing? Well, they knew everybody at the Central Reserve, right? So they get like the fancy, cool exchange rate that they put on paper, and then they go and they'd cash in. I mean, you want to talk about a great trade, right? Then you go and you actually get what it's really worth, which is 3 times what you were doing. And so a lot of bureaucrats were able to put a lot of money away in this fashion, plus a multitude of other things. You know, they say that Argentina, they've got like all these mattresses. People have all this money under their mattresses, but really just in different locations throughout the world, and they weren't paying taxes on it, et cetera, et cetera. So all that maybe is going to change. But this relates to everything we're talking about, again, because of the media bias. Right? The media did not want this guy to get elected. He got elected. And then I'm sorry, but you can't print something else. I mean, he got elected. And what do you know? The market went up in Argentina. What do you know? People are starting to feel more confident in that nation's economy.